Hey everybody, it's Jared here at Big Pine Sports. I am here with the famous Kent Green from Moab Cowboy Off-Road. We're going to talk a little bit about something very serious going on right now, but first, Kent, tell us a little bit about your history in Moab. You grew up in Moab, you have a wonderful business in Moab. How did it all start? Tell us about the little Kent Green as a child growing up.
Well, our families are 7 generations in Moab, Utah. One of the original pioneers, actually on my wife's side. And my grandkids are 7 generations. And I grew up in the entire southeastern Utah. And that's probably why I know the area so well. But the reason we got into business is because I seen the future. There was a machine called the Yamaha Rhino. And I bought my first 2009 Yamaha Rhino in Moab and just fell in love with it. And I just knew someday we were going to be able to drive these on the street. There would be a law that would allow us to do that. And that's why I got into the business, because I enjoy showing people the backcountry.
So your family obviously has a lot of heritage in Moab area. And you growing up, all of the different things you've done growing up in Moab, how have you seen Moab change, and what do you see Moab doing in the future?
Well, Moab's changed quite a bit. You know, of course, it was a farming and ranching community, and then it turned into a boom town for mining. And, of course, everybody knows that the largest vein of uranium ore was discovered in Moab. Well, actually outside of Moab, about 26 miles, called Big Indian, July of 1952. And so everything was kind of dying in Moab, but when this boom hit, at that time Moab only had like 1,800 to 2,000 people that lived in a community, and about 6 months later, it went to 9,000 people. So it became an instant boom town overnight, basically. And then, of course, when the mining industry phased out in about 1983. Tourism is basically what kind of happened on accident, because we weren't really a tourist destination. But that's when the mountain biking craze started happening, was in the 80s. And so all the mountain bikers started coming to Moab. And of course, we always had Easter Safari that drew in a lot of 4x4 enthusiasts, and also river running. So the community got behind tourism and started advertising, because we do sit right in the heart of 2 national parks, which is Arches and Canyonlands National Parks. We're surrounded by 5 state parks. We're surrounded by 4 national monuments. So Moab is a tourist destination, and it has changed a lot.
Kent, what can we do as OHV, ATV, Jeepers, all of us that want to participate in what Moab has to offer? What can we do to help the situation in Moab?
Well, the community is very unique. And unfortunately, for us to gain access to trails, some of those main roads go up to the trailheads that do actually go up by neighborhoods, and some through neighborhoods. So what we need to do is we need to slow down, and that reduces noise. And Moab is simply asking that people who are driving at night, if they would just allow them to have quiet time between the hours 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. That's really not a whole lot asking. I think it's doable. So those of you that are visiting Moab, I know night riding is kind of cool and stuff, but think about the neighbors who live there. Think about the people who live there. If you can plan your activities during the day, great. But you know, don't drive through the neighborhoods, you know, past 11 o'clock, you know, such as 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Let's give Moab a little bit of peace time, and that's what we can do as off-road enthusiasts. Is we can give back to the community and say, hey, we care what you guys think of us here. And we welcome you. We welcome everybody to Moab, but we just need them to be a little bit more respectful.
So I've been going to Moab for a lot of years now, and one thing that I've always admired about our industry, Kent, is how we take care of the trail systems that are out there. You know, anytime I come across you out on the trails, you guys always have garbage bags and you're picking up trash. And, you know, we do as a community care a lot about Moab and the trails and the town itself, and it really only takes one or two guys to really mess it up for everybody, you know. And like you say, there's no reason to be out at 1 o'clock in the morning blasting your sound system and running up and down through the neighborhoods. Yes, we have a very wonderful privilege of being able to be out on the roadways, but just like with anything else, a little bit of responsibility can go a long ways. So any other thoughts, advice? What do you see while you're down there as you are operating a business and seeing other people out on the trails? You know, tell us a little bit about Moab and how the trail systems work. Why is it important to stay on the trail systems? Because this really is for on and off road. There are laws and things that we need to abide by being on the road. One being street legal. You have to be street legal to be on the roads. You don't have to be street legal to be out on the trails, but out on the trails comes responsibility as well. So tell us a little bit about that and what you see while you're out on the trail systems.
Well, what I see mainly is I'll use Hell's Revenge for an example. There is a speed limit out there, 15 miles an hour. Let's abide by those rules. And I can't tell you how many times that I'm out on the trail, because it is two-way traffic. You have to remember that. Of people and all user groups, you know, not just side-by-sides, but Jeeps, ATVs, motorcycles. They're speeding. They're going too fast. And they're kicking up dust. You know, stay on the trail, slow down. And when you approach other individuals, slow down, you know, don't dust them out. And, you know, there's a lot of information out there. Use hand signals. You know, we try to educate everybody, tell them how many we have behind us. It's just a courtesy thing. That way you're not waiting on somebody to come by. You know, there are some blind corners and things like that when you're out there. The Bureau of Land Management, the BLM, I don't know a lot of people know this or not, but all this high banking that's going on in the trails is actually illegal. So just stay on the trail and slow down and enjoy. Get out and look around. My God, you're in the most beautiful country in the world. But yeah, when you approach mountain bikers, you know, because you do cross the trail quite a bit, slow down or even stop. Let them go by. That way you're not dusting them out. And offer them water. Remember, water can save your life.
Absolutely.
You know,
so Kent, tell us a little bit about how people can get in touch with you, whether they just want to come and get educated on the area, want to go out on a tour with you. How do people get a hold of you?
Well, they can visit my website. It's called Moab Cowboy, offroad.com. And you can look us up on the internet. It's got my phone number. I have an office there in Moab at 97 South Main Street. We're always open. We'll answer your questions. If you want to go on a tour, great. We'd be more than happy to take you out, even if you have your own machines. And a lot of people don't realize that. If you have your own machines, you want a guide, I'd be more than happy to do that. So come on down and see us. We'd love to have you.
All right. Thanks, Kent, for sharing a little bit of enlightenment on what's going on down in Moab. We absolutely love the ability to be street legal in all of these communities. Here for us in Fairview, it is so nice to be able to leave the hotel, run down, get you some food, head out to the trail systems, not congest the trailheads. And I'm sure all of those things are the same down in Moab as I've been able to get out. So please, everybody, just be respectful when you're out on the roadways and out on the trail systems. If you're not street legal, stay off the street.
Yep.
If you are street legal, stop at the stop signs. Keep the music down. You cannot go up and down Main Street with your lighted whips and all of those things. So just be smart while you're out there. And as always, have fun in Moab, everybody.
Thank you.